Thank you for the opportunity of addressing you today. I regret that I cannot be with you in person, and I hope to have the opportunity to visit Trinidad and Tobago in the future. This discussion on whether the death penalty can be the antidote to crime and insecurity in Trinidad and Tobago is taking place in a difficult context. This is a context where increasing homicide rates and high levels of gender-based violence and other serious crimes, coupled with challenges in the criminal justice system, are leading to calls for the resumption of capital punishment in the country. For us, it is clear. The European Union is opposed to the death penalty in all and every circumstance. No exceptions, no exemptions. Because it is an affront to human dignity. Because it does not work to reduce crime or to act as a deterrent. Because it does not effectively combat terrorism. And of course, because it is irreversible. The global abolition of the death penalty is a fundamental part of the EU's foreign and security policy. This is reflected in our Action Plan on Human Rights and Democracy for 2020 to 2024, which is our roadmap for external action. And we promote it in the international fora, in the UN, and in regional organisations. But what do we do specifically? We have a set of guidelines, which are a blueprint, if you like, for how all of our delegations, the EU delegations in more than 140 countries, working together with the embassies of our member states in promoting our opposition to the death penalty. And that means, for example, that in individual countries, we talk with governments, we raise particular cases, and sometimes we make public statements. We also use our trade mechanisms. In our trade preferences, the scheme which allows access to the European markets. We use that to encourage not just the ratification of the second protocol of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, but also its implementation. The work that I do as the European Union Special Representative for Human Rights is essentially talking with governments about human rights. If I can give a few examples from the last few months. In Indonesia, I was interested to hear about the plans that they have to put a pause on the carrying out of executions for a period of 10 years. In Egypt, I've talked with the government about reducing the number of penalties to which the death penalty applies. In the United States, we've talked with our friends about the abolition of the death penalty. And in Saudi Arabia, we talked about not executing minors and also not using the death penalty for drug-related offences. In addition, we work very closely with civil society. We also provide funding for civil society through our global funding mechanisms. And I know that this is the case in Trinidad and Tobago. A number of initiatives are also being implemented to support the country's crime and security efforts. This extends to the judiciary and national security agencies, as well as civil society. Thank you again for the opportunity of addressing you today. I especially want to thank the Greater Caribbean for Life, the EU delegation, the EU member states, and other diplomatic missions, as well as the human rights defenders present, and all those working towards the abolition of the death penalty. I understand that these conversations are never easy. I was a member of the Parliament in my own country of Ireland when we abolished the death penalty, and it was not an easy debate. In advocating for abolition, we are not trying to minimise the challenges that exist, but it does diminish our humanity to deprive another person of life and to commit the same violence that we have condemned. There is a saying which is often used in relation to the death penalty that is worth recalling today, and it is, why do we kill people who kill people in order to show people that killing people is wrong. We shouldn't. It doesn't work. I wish you well in your discussions today. Thank you.